I'm at the entrance to the main temple, so you can start to get a sense of scale of this place. That moat here is about 2 or 3 foot deep. No fish in it as far as I can see. And then walk through here. Be careful not to trip over the steps in the dark. So I've heard some guides speaking German here, so they obviously cater for everybody. So there's loads of them. That's the trouble. You always, not always, but yeah, there's a few. They just ask you, do you want a tour and whatnot. They're very polite, like all Cambodians, because they're really nice people. Looks like could do with the clean. So there's the classic. There's the classic view just there, the main site. There's a huge amount of grounds. You can see how you could spend an hour just walking, at least. So there's a lot of these just stepped areas, whatever they were doing down in the pit there. But I should imagine, which you can make out here, that it was all painted at one time, and when it was in full upkeep, you know, as you can see all the dancing figures up there. If that was all painted and coloured and looked after, as it probably was in its heyday, it must have been pretty spectacular. So, but would have taken an army of monks for sure, just to keep it clean and painted, I'd imagine. Unfortunately, there's so much you can't really see that. It's too dark, but there's a lot of detail cut into that pillar. You might see it better on that one. It's so worn. You can see the dancing figure there. A lot of it's so worn off. It's like Chinese writing on there, rather than Cambodian. Presumably, I don't know my history of Buddhism, but it came from India originally. Well, the Chinese then took it up, and maybe that's why. It's the sheer scale of the place that gets you. When you think of all of these stones put into place, really steep. I mean, that's like an 80-degree. Obviously, it's not stairs. It wouldn't have been originally for stairs. It's too steep, I'd guess. But the detail on all of the cones up there, all worn away now. You get a sense of it with just these. Just carved into adjacent blocks. And then, you know, they look like they're that precise that they've been turned on a lathe. Must have been incredible in its heyday, really. So much stone here moved into place. And of course all the alignments as well, like all of the old sites. Because you can come and do early tours here, you can do sunrise and sunset. And then I don't know how Minty got up there. Makes you wonder about the significance of the dress, for sure. Those spiky things sticking out at the top. It's pretty elaborate for a headgear. And then that strange kind of whip sheath hanging off the waist. So this is climbed up, presumably more or less inside one of the sort of pine cone type structures, and the view over the surrounding forest. Again, you know, it just, the sense of scale of the whole place.
Don't miss the southeast corner. Don't miss the southeast corner.
And then there's a...
I don't know what direction I'm facing, but alright.
Well, I think we just saw it, Gary. I think we just saw it.
No, they said it's on the other side, other corner.
Okay.
So there you can see the entrance, presumably down to the south. That steep stairwell, another little room down there. This detail is incredible. But compared to that,
Alright, I see another shot right here.
with another little Buddha in there. I mean, how can you carve that and not make a mistake? That's just, it's just bonkers, isn't it? The detail. It makes concentrating on the Shipibo stitching for reasons of focus of the mind on my t-shirt seem easy, doesn't it? I can hear chanting. Here's some of the actual monks going up to make offerings. As you can see, that stairwell wasn't fun to go up or down. Got to be so careful, because safety is your concern, not theirs. Little Buddhas everywhere, eh? Obviously for me, there's the safety is your primary concern. With any of these temples, because of my experiences of ayahuasca, what I'm really interested in is the imagery, because anything that's got anything remotely like octopusy type tentacles, or like you see here, which you could say, yeah, they're sheaves of wheat or whatever you want, but for me, all of the imagery comes from somewhere, in terms of, you know, a probable psychedelic experience or similar, because of my experiences of ayahuasca. And it just makes you wonder what, you know, the original inhabitants of any original temple complex, or the origins of their religion, what it... Catch him before he disappears. Lone monkey. So coming away from the complex now, but symmetrical here on this side. and here on this side. This was a surprise, coming in for a wash. That's how hot it is. And you know how cold-blooded I am, I don't sweat much. So this is the sort of shop area just off the main drag. As usual, everything's completely catered for in Cambodia. Banana trees everywhere. Everywhere on the planet. So I was just thinking, you know, of all the places I've been, the Cambodians are definitely my favourite people of any country I've ever been to. They are just so sweet, so polite, you know, they're always smiling. If you talk to them, they give a little bow with, you know, the prayer and a smile. I haven't seen anybody irate, angry. They don't, even the street guys, they don't pester you. I mean, you get the guides, they just say, you know, you want a guide, sir, $15. And you just say, no thank you. You might have to say it 2 or 3 times. But they're not pushy. It's just, you know, for me, it just seems to be that balance of mind, body and spirit. That's the only thing I can think of, you know, with the Buddhist thing. Which is really weird for me because coming from Peru, which is the heart of ayahuasca, you'd think it would pervade. So I've got to finish that last thought about Peruvians, because they're still my least favourite race of all the countries I've been to, which, considering they've got ayahuasca in the heart of their country, is really bizarre, because they just are completely amoral in comparison to other nations. You know, I mean, you take the example even of you know, the last shaman that I was with, which was wonderful, best one I've ever had. But, you know, not even a question of even offering to say, oh, you know, Steve, you didn't want to do the full 3-month dieta, you know, I'll give you some money back. No fucking chance. Not with Peruvians. And that's what I don't like about them, is that whole mentality of the, you know, rip off the gringo and it's perfectly fine. And just a not pleasant, considering, you know, where they go, you know, to the realms of, you know, transcendental experience, that the heights that they can hit, and they don't continue that morality or what they've learned in terms of love and compassion. They'll talk about it, they'll talk a good job, but they don't live it. Whereas here, it's just so relaxed. I mean, most of Asia's like that. Most Asians are like that, to be honest. Just really easygoing people. So anyway, I'm gonna just have a quick smoke. I would like to have had a smoke on the temple complex, just so I've smoked my mapacho pipe in Angkor Wat, but it's a no smoking site. So anyway, I'll have a quick pipe and then go back and find Rong, who's over in the call him Mr. Vane, call him Mr. Wrong. Go and find him and then head off. I've got another 2. This is the Bayon Temple of Angkor Thom, which looks a lot older, a lot more run, or just more run down for sure. It's a real shame. So I'm going to have a walk around there. Alright, thank you, Ron. You sure you don't want to drink or anything? Yeah. You don't want to drink?
I have water.
You have water? Okay, no problem. Thank you.
See the west entrance.
Uh-huh.
So you come back in the west entrance?
Yeah, okay. Probably half an hour.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. So let's see what the Gumph says about this place. It really does look ancient, being so run down. Churning of the sea milk. Oh, and serpent Vasuki. See, again, serpents. Big part of everything transcendental. Snakes. Can't imagine what this was like when it was actually in its heyday, with all of this built as it should have been, rather than either stacked here through not being rebuilt for whatever reason, that this either collapsed or was tidally brought down for safety reasons or whatever. But again, it's just everywhere you look, and so much of it is worn. You know, it's the detail that's in all of the rock. You know, you can make out the meditating Buddha sort of shape here. And you know, for me, again, just to reiterate, it's just the power of the mind through either meditation or through plant medicines that can take people to, you know, these other dimensions of what we call, you know, spiritual experience, the transcendental, that can be a catalyst for, you know, driving whole civilizations to build structures on this scale. It's just quite overwhelming, to be honest. Truly mind-bending. It's a lovely atmosphere here too. You'd expect, obviously, with the amount of meditation that's gone on probably over the millennia in places like this. No bad energies at all, actually, in Cambodia so far. And again, I think it's that balance of the mind, body and spirit that goes along with the culture. Again, funny how it's snakes, so fundamental. Whether you've got the aspects of the supposed Kundalini energy that comes from the spine or whatever, not that I know anything about that. For me, it's just the prevalence of the serpent in ayahuasca visions as well. There's something obviously fundamental with dragons and snakes that go with the transcendental divine. You see a lot of them in ayahuasca, or you can do. Obviously some people more than others, but you'll come across them at some point, even if it's just in the initial visions of the fractal sort of patterns that you start to see right when the ayahuasca first hits you. And there's the Buddha, supported by the body of a serpent. So what you have to understand about this place, it's not just a load of different temples that are separated by roads and distance. From what I've read, you know, the whole area at its heyday was one massive city. So you know, you'd have to look on Google Maps, a satellite view or similar, to understand the scale of this whole place. You know, it's absolutely huge. Of course, it all would have been rainforest at one point. Beautiful place though, lovely atmosphere. Nice temperature too. Of course, a lot of it was surrounded by moats as well, and really big ones too. I missed the main one around Angkor Wat, on the, you know, the outskirts of it. Last temple for the day is, you know, it's about 11 o'clock I suppose. 3 hours is enough. I mean, once you've seen one, you've more or less seen them all by the look of it. But I still can't believe the amount of work that goes into these places. You know, our ancestors were just definitely on something, that's for sure. I didn't get the bridge coming into Angkor Wat, but it was similar to this but much longer, but it just had loads and loads of statues of Buddhas all the way along the balustrade. Again, that fan-headed snake depiction, a snake's head but with made up of multiple snakes itself. So this is the last temple that I'm doing today. No point doing it anymore. It's just it's an entrance here. You just about see it. Called Taprom. But just to show, you know, how well they've got everything set up for all the tourists. I'm getting a cold coconut here with this young girl, young woman, whatever. I mean, it's a great day out. I mean, it's $37 for a ticket, and it just gives you full site access. As I said yesterday, you only pay on the site, but you know, I've got everything. Buy t-shirts and stuff. I've already got one of these from town, a green one. That's the west entrance to this temple, which is called Taprom. Little wonky door over there. Again, fair bit of subsidence even. I think I prefer them before they've been repaired, to be honest. Looking at the photos of the repairs, it's a good thing with this site because it's so huge. The groups aren't, you know, you're never swamped with tourists. You can see the before and after. I suppose when it's that bad you have to do it because it's not possible to walk on it, but kind of takes away that atmosphere of age, really. And obviously some of it's never going to be rebuilt, like all of this. Just makes you wonder what happened to it all. I suppose it just becomes so unstable that they just have to dismantle it to allow visitors at all. If it gets like this. Supposed to have been 9th to 15th century, the Khmer civilization. But I'm not exactly overly keen on what any archaeologists or historians say about ancient structures. Again, it's the detail. I mean, this is just a slab, edge of this slab going all the way down, and you imagine. Just must have had an industry of people that just sat and carved slabs all day with this level of intricate detail. It's just mind-bending. So,
hello, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Where do you come from?
England.
Do you need to guide people?
No, thank you. If you can see that. Yeah, not so detailed. Definitely seen its share of wear and tear, this temple. Just to end, some nice music. These guys are a bit more tuneful than the ones that were on the other gate. A little bit out of tune, the other guys. These guys are good. $10 a CD's a bit much though. But anyway, They're the victims of landmines, it says there. Point this out after noticing it a few nights back. The whole pavement here, normally it's just the edge, but the whole pavement, this side and the other side. Oh, there's an Indian there, another one. Indians are good here too. Yeah, how many countries lay granite paving slabs? Just the weight alone, let alone the shaping and everything. That can't be cheap.